All right, so you know that one person who just appears out of nowhere, somehow gets interviews with A-list celebrities, and then completely disappears faster than a Snapchat streak. Yeah, that's Bobbi Althoff. One minute she's in bed with Drake, interviewing Mark Cuban, Offset, and Shaq. The next, her podcast is dead, her guests have vanished, and people are out here calling her the biggest industry plant in history. How did she blow up overnight? And more importantly, why did she crash and burn so fast? Buckle up, because this is one of the wildest rise and fall stories the internet has ever seen. All right, let's start from the beginning. Bobbi wasn't always this cool, deadpan A-list interviewer. Nope, she was a TikTok mom vlogger making sarcastic videos about parenthood. Yeah, that was her whole thing. Then, out of nowhere, she's got Drake on her podcast. How do you go from mom jokes to the most reclusive rapper on the planet giving you an interview? Now, her explanation. She says Drake saw her TikTok, followed her, and agreed to be on her show. Which, let's be real, sounds about as legit as an email from a Nigerian prince promising you $10 million. The internet wasn't buying it. People started calling her an industry plant because, let's face it, random podcasters don't just get Drake. It doesn't happen. Joe Rogan barely gets Drake. And just like that, the conspiracy theories took off. Was she backed by billionaires? Was she planted by a talent agency? Or did she just sell her soul for clout? Now, let's talk about the industry plant theory. If you're not familiar, an industry plant is when some random nobody magically gets pushed to the top while pretending they did it all on their own. And if you look at Bobbi's career, the signs are all there. 1 week after the Drake interview, she signs with WME, one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood. Suddenly, she's everywhere, getting featured in Forbes, Wired, and mainstream media. Yeah, she lands Shaq, Mark Cuban, Lil Yachty, Ryan Garcia, all huge names that don't just do podcasts with random influencers. And then, during an interview with Keke Palmer, she was straight up called an industry plant to her face.
I know.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but
You do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this?
I
kind
know.
of
Isn't that
planted?
crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got
like
you got
Luke.
here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
What I think industry plant is, it's like somebody that has been like that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections
Okay.
to capitalize, and they like have zero talent.
I'm not an anythinger. I don't have any talents.
Bobbi's response, I don't have any talents. Sis, that's not the flex you think it is. And listen, I get it. Maybe Bobbi's whole awkward, deadpan style was funny at first. But when you start flirting with every male guest on your show, things get weird. She asked Drake if she was his type.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
She low-key hit on funny Marco. And Offset? Bro literally called her a plain, unseasoned chicken breast. And honestly, that was the moment the internet turned on her.
I'm not being mean. It's just you don't get it. So I'm very passionate about the people that don't get it because they need to get it because they dress like you and then they be lost.
Oh.
You know? Like, why would you go 2000s Tank with the open button up?
I don't claim to be into fashion. You do.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if that was the case, then you would have just came in here with a big ass hoodie on and some sweatpants. You really tried to, you put that together. It's just not all the way together.
What would
But
you do?
I could get it together though.
Okay, what would you do differently?
On your fit?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would put a little moisturizer down there, and then I would definitely have. I wouldn't go tan with Tank with the tan shoe just because that's the obvious. So it's a little hot outside, and you talked about heat, right? Like with my boots, you have on long jeans with Tank and then another long sleeve shirt. You try to roll it up for heat purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's giving 36-year-old mom, you're 26. You see what I'm saying? So you should stay down there and not up there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to do this shit. I don't fucking do interviews. You heard, you already told me you looked me up. I'm walking out on bullshit. I'm fucking with you because they're making me. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken just on the thing. You pull it off and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man.
You can leave now.
is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now.
Here's the thing, when someone blows up overnight, they don't always understand why people like them in the first place. Bobbi built her brand on awkward, sarcastic humor. But once she started acting like a regular influencer, talking about money, clout, and her personal life, people checked out. Then there was the Drake fiasco. After the episode aired, Drake unfollowed her. The entire podcast disappeared from YouTube. And suddenly, people started wondering if she got blacklisted. The internet ran wild with conspiracy theories. Some even saying Drake was the reason her career died. And then she just stopped uploading. No more viral guests, no more attention, just a slow fade into irrelevance. So what happened next? Well, her numbers tanked. Her latest episodes, barely pulling 70K views, even with big-name guests like Tyga.
My name is Tyga.
That's your government name?
My government name? No.
What's your real name?
Michael.
And worst of all, people just don't care anymore. Now, the real question. Did Bobbi Althoff ever actually have a fan base? Or was she just riding the hype of her guests? Because let's be real, nobody was watching her podcast for her. They were watching for Drake, Offset, and Mark Cuban. And when the big guests stopped coming, so did the viewers. So what have we learned today? Don't build your career on borrowed fame. If Drake gives you clout, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And maybe, just maybe, don't ask every rapper if they'd sleep with you.
Would you date someone that looks like me?
Bobbi Althoff is a classic case of fast rise, even faster fall. But what do you think? Was she a genuine talent who just couldn't sustain the hype? Or was she a corporate creation that failed the moment the machine stopped pushing her? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, hit that subscribe button, because I promise you, we've got way more internet meltdowns to cover.